Sorry.
Okay, sorry, we just had a video that we were doing and it was cut off. So the last thing that we talked about was the piece of the fucking drawing being torn off. Why, who, where, what.
What was on top of that?
Yes. Was it Ren's fucking photo going, yo? Like, what was it? So, you were talking about something after that.
Something
when
important.
Jimmy fucking called in, and now I can't remember what the hell
remember
we were
what it
talking-
was.
Go.
Okay. So, it really pisses me off because we see, going back, we see the girls they're all sitting around the table, whatever, when Spencer says that it wasn't her dad that killed him. One of the girls says, maybe we overlooked something, whatever. And then one of the girls says, or maybe it's somebody we haven't even mentioned yet. That really stood out to me. They don't just put lines in there for no reason. Like,
It's all scripted, right?
that was something that really stood out to me. Maybe it's somebody that they haven't pointed fingers at yet.
And that's what I was saying, though.
AKA fucking Ren.
Exactly.
Ren.
Now, a lot of people have been saying that they think that Sydney is black veil. Let me stop you right the fuck there, because I don't believe that she is fucking
Ow!
black veil. Sorry about that.
Oh my god!
But I have to state my fucking opinion firmly when I say that I do not think that somebody that was brought into the season 5.
I am so sorry if one of you guys have headphones on right now. We are so sorry.
I do not think someone brought into season 5 was in the premiere of season 4 at fucking Wilden's funeral, wearing a black veil, and then at the end of this fucking episode.
But we also have to think, okay? Shauna was an add-in character.
Exactly.
She was somebody that
had no relevance in my
they
opinion.
didn't even know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she came in to do the pretty dirty secret.
She was in the Halloween
and then
store.
they signed her on.
Well, they did say when she was doing the Pretty Dirty Secret episodes
That she would be part of it.
She would be part of it.
But that really pissed me off because that's not fair to the viewers.
No, it isn't.
It's not fair.
Because if you keep throwing in all these new characters and you're expecting us to fucking try to figure out what's going on and who's this and who's blowing who and where's Peter in the bush now, it's like, how are you supposed to know all of this if you keep throwing these people?
But finally, somebody said, Aria did say to Emily, she never said she was on the A-Team.
Thank you, Aria. Exactly.
She never fucking said she was on the A-Team.
And Emily responded saying she might as well have had the fucking big ass A, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the only thing she didn't have was the A drawn on her or whatever. But regardless, she never said she was fucking A. She never said she was on the A-Team. She never said she was Redcoat. She never said she was Black Veil. She never said that she had any involvement. This was strictly revenge or a fucking setup.
Exactly.
By Allison for her to be able to escape again. And I think that is, the setup more so than her actually wanting.
As in Allison having every idea that she was going to be there on that stage that night? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Allison knowing that she was going to be there? That was her way. Okay, let me meet with these girls so they stop trying to contact me.
She's in a fucking hurry to constantly run the fuck away, jumping on buses, calling Noel for Princeton Station. She had every intention of getting away from the girls again that night, and that was her fucking way.
Stay.
Exactly.
They made her stay. And I think that, honestly, Shauna was not... how I think it would have played out had Shauna had not died and Aria never followed her, because Aria was not supposed to follow her. That was not the plan. You know what I mean? That was never the plan, because the only reason that she followed her is because Ezra woke up and said it was Shauna.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, none of the girls called her. Allison didn't call her for help. Nothing. So, therefore, I think that her plan was, Shauna, I need you to come and cause a scene, make it seem like, you're bad, you're out for revenge, whatever the fucking case may be. I need you to hold the gun up, whatever, take me, and make it look like you are taking me. Therefore, these girls are not going to try to, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to try anything. They're not going to try and keep me here.
And before you say anything about the gun residue being on that fucking hoodie,
she fired a shot up into the air when Arya attacked her.
Yes.
That is where the gun residue came from, not the fucking roof. I don't care what anybody says.
Because that wasn't her
that
on
was
the fucking
not
roof. That
Shauna
was
on the roof.
Toby on the fucking
Now,
roof.
did Ezra maybe see Shauna in a hoodie and maybe thought that it was her? Absolutely. But do not forget, Shauna did fire a shot on that theater because she was getting attacked by Arya from, like, you know what I mean? Arya attacked her. She fired a shot up at the top of the theater. I'm telling you, that's where the gun residue comes into play. And it's the same fucking gun because it's the same gun she took out of Arya's jacket. So it was the same gun from the roof, but was she the one that fired it on the roof? No.
No.
It was not her on the roof. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
The next part of the episode that we see is Emily walking in on Hannah's devious plan to get Allie the feck out of Rosewood, wads of cash.
Emily.
And Emily says to her, "Don't you even think about following me."
She was pissed.
She was pissed.
Good for Emily.
She was very pissed.
Shame on you, Hannah.
Next thing we see is Paige finding the rat and screaming like she had the rat up her asshole. Then we come to Allie being alone at the house on the phone with her dad. She says she's sleeping and Hannah's comes in and fucking shuts off the lamp.
Who cares?
You know,
You literally. Who the fuck cares? Like, honestly, like, if you're that afraid, you're so afraid that you're gonna run, but yet you want to go to your house by yourself in the dark and not turn the fucking light on, except for a little tiny lamp that fucking gives out a freaking radius of 4 inches of light. Like,
I'm sorry, but if that was me, I'd have every fucking light in the house on with a mag light attached to my fucking
flashlight
head.
on my iPhone, looking through, like,
I'd have a mag light on my fucking head attached to my head. Like, give me a freaking
If it was
break.
me, I wouldn't even go into that house by myself. Dunzo. Excuse me, Hannah, you want to come with me? Could one of these girls get a fucking gun?
Perhaps.
I don't care if
And
they're
not just
underage
use
or
it
not.
to fucking stand there and say, take your mask off.
Take
and
it
then,
off now. Pew, there you go.
Gonzo. Then we see Spencer Googling Bethany, Radley's mission statement, yada, yada, yada. A mission statement, for those of you that don't know, is...
Because I didn't know.
For those of you that don't know, since Radley is an establishment where they have to take care of people, or if it's like something like an insurance company, whatever the case may be, their mission statement is just what they are going to provide to the community and to society.
Why did she write that down?
Exactly.
Like, what was
that what she was writing down? Because that was the only thing on that fucking thing that she was looking at besides somebody staring off into the sunset.
Maybe it said something like, if something happens to a patient here, we have to provide information to the public, or something, like, you know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know.
Whether or not that's the case. Next we come to Allie having IDs, which we will get into in another video, because there's something that I need to say about that, and cash strapped to the drawer. And then she walks back into the fucking living room. Dad? Because the light is turned off.
Yes, because your dad turned the fucking light off.
And didn't alert you to the fact that he's home after you just spoke with him on the phone.
Yeah, you talked to him 2 seconds ago where he said that he was somewhere. And he fucking jetpacked home.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Really? Honestly, like, why? Like, and then search for somebody in your house. Like, hello? Scream? Like, seriously, the dumbest of the dumbs. That's what it is. The fucking retarded people of PLL. That's what this show should be. The retards.
So she gets hit with a fire poker from behind by A.
I didn't mean any, no, I'm not trying, I'm politically correct. I'm very sorry about that. I didn't mean in a mean way.
And A starts choking her. She goes to pick something off the desk to friggin' stab him with, but yet, of course, he overpowers her when Emily comes in to save the day.
She, like, lost consciousness.
Now, as you can see, A is rather short in this part.
In this part. A was
leading you to wonder
her.
Who the fuck was in that black
And
room?
I'm sure she probably had heels on. Because none of these girls know anything about sneakers or flats or anything.
Well, Emily is the sporty one, so who knows? But the case...
But Emily wasn't much... Emily was not much taller.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Leading you to believe, was that perhaps Maya? Do you think? Somebody mentioned that.
I don't know. I think that's a little far-fetched, but I think, like, the whole... A obviously had no... It, like, started off with the intent to scare Allison. Not... Because literally, as Emily walked in, you know, Allison was laying on the ground, and A was walking towards the door, like, okay, we scared her, that's all we needed to do. So, which makes me think that this wasn't... That maybe this had something to do with Mona and her little clique.
That very well could have been.
Do you know what
Mona,
I mean?
yes.
Because it seemed like they just wanted to scare her, that they really weren't gonna hurt her.
Right. And then, which after the whole thing with Arya wanting Ezra to fucking say that Shauna shot him and all that other bullshit, there's another text message. There's a lot of text messages for me in this episode. Mm-hmm. See how easy it is for me to kill you. If you leave Rosewood, I will. Another thing, what happened to kisses, A?
Mm-hmm. Was that a Mona thing?
Or was that someone else?
Was it somebody else? There's just... They're making it seem like this person that's texting right now, like, did you miss me, bitches? A may have been actual A. But I'm thinking, though, that text message, see how easy it is for me to kill you, didn't come from A. I'm thinking that maybe it's Mona back on her game just to scare her to leave. But why did they want her to leave so bad? Why?
Right.
Like, why? Something's, like, Mona has a lot of friends at school now. She's fine. Everybody doesn't like Allison now.
It makes
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it makes you wonder.
It really makes you wonder.
Are they getting blackmailed by Big A to make her leave? Because this person is telling her one thing, like, leave Rosewood, see how easy it is for me to kill you, trying to scare her to leave. But then the text message she gets at the end that says, if you leave Rosewood.
Right.
So it's two
different people. Well, that's not
people.
the last text message.
But, I mean, like,
right.
Later on. So it's two different people. It's gotta be.
In theory,
one of them's
yes.
telling her to leave, one of them's telling her to stay.
Exactly.
So which makes me think that the whole situation at her house was Mona and her army. Whatever.
So, all of a sudden, Allie doesn't want to be alone at her house because earlier, after she gets text messages, she wants to be there, but now she doesn't. So she stays with Emily, and Emily watches her sleep all night long.
Well, I wouldn't want to be at my house either. Maybe you shouldn't have been at your house to begin with.
You would think. Next thing we see is Arya at Radley applying for a job, saying that she's comfortable in that environment.
Yeah, you are comfortable in that environment.
I wonder why. Lieutenant Tanner then shows up at Allie's and asking for Mr. De Laurentiis. She wants him and Allie to answer questions about Shauna and where exactly in Philly Allie and the girls were specifically that night.
But didn't Arya take care of that? Or that's the shack that they...
That's the shack.
Okay, never mind.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Next, we get a text from A again. It's time for the caged bird to sing. Do you guys think it's Tippy?
No. We'll talk about that in our next video, what Gianna researched and looked up.
And the last part of the episode, my deepest condolences to the parents of Bethany Young.
Which Sarah pointed out that the writing on the card and the writing on the envelope that said to the parents of Bethany Young, two completely different.
Absolutely.
Completely different.
And then we see Black Veil because, you know...
They didn't have boobs, nothing.
No.
It was like a man and like fixing the back of their hair. It
delivering
was awkward.
Fucking roses. And not only that, like the whole boobs thing, but yeah, because, you know, showing up at a funeral looking like that, not even to mention Wilden's funeral, obviously you
Somebody
stood out in the fucking crowd.
Yeah,
like,
who
the fuck are you?
Like,
I'm sorry, but if somebody like that showed up at my mom's funeral, I would, who the fuck are you? Take off your fucking black veil.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah, no, that's weird. It's just like people are allowed to wear masks wherever they go. That's just how their town is, I guess. I don't know. But we'll come back with a theory video on everything.